Hello, I'm the Over the Hill mountain biker, and today I'm going to add a volume spacer to my DPX2 rear shock. Shock seems to go through the travel a little bit too much on hard hits, so it's time to make an adjustment. First step will be to remove the air from the shock, make sure I get it all out. So I've hooked up my shock pump and letting the air out gradually. And there we go, got it all out. After removing all the air, the next step will be to take the rear wheel off, take some weight off before I remove the shock. Now the shock wouldn't have to be removed. Could be done with it on here, but the way this bike's set up, I prefer to take it off. It makes it a little bit easier to work on. The tools needed for this job are a shock pump, something to pry out a volume spacer like a screwdriver, strap wrench, Fox float fluid, and if you're going to take the shock out of the bike to do this job, you'll need a vise, preferably with soft jaws. One last check before I take the air can off. Make sure don't have any air. Whoop, there was a little bit left in there. Just heard a little bit come out. Now sometimes you don't need a strap wrench, but this one's a little tight. I'll put a strap wrench on it. And now it turns. Now that I have it loosened, should be able to get it by hand. Maybe it's a little tight. Having soft jaws on the vise makes it a lot easier. At least easier on the shock. A lot of threads, very fine threads on this. There we go, should come loose. And should be able to pour down. There we go. First thing I want to do is get a little excess oil out of there. That Fox float fluid, I have more of that to put back in. It takes a little bit. Then I want to remove or slide down the O-ring. Can't get it with my fingers. I have a little nylon tool I use. Get that O-ring down. Then we have a washer to ring down. Again, I don't want to scratch that shaft, so I use something relatively soft. As you can see, oops, doesn't want to slide very easily. Perfect fit, so you gotta work it around. There we go. Now I can get it with my fingers and take that the rest of the way down. So I have the O-ring and that little washer. Now inside, this already has a 0.4 cubic inch volume spacer. I need to go bigger. And when you order the kit from Fox, you'll get 5 different sizes, I believe. And I'm going to go up to a 0.6 cubic inch. I got to work this thing out first. Pop it out of there. It's coming. That old one out. Should pop pretty soon. Just gotta be patient. It's coming. There we go. And get that. Comes right off of there. Now, there's 2 different kits. This has a large shaft, so they have these, the larger hole in. Some of the Fox shocks have a smaller shaft, and we'll take a different spacer. Let's see. Okay, that's a 0.6. So they have them all color coded as well. And I can put that back in pretty easy. Go back in easier than they come out. Just get that facing. There's a hole in there. In this case, I want it facing back that way so it doesn't block any airflow there. Let's pop this baby back in. I'll have to turn it. There we go. It's going right in. Okay, now that it's seated, takes up a little more airspace. Washer goes down. Then I can slide down the O-ring. Make sure it's all the way down. All right, before I put this back together, I'm going to put a little bit of Fox float fluid I have in this little syringe on this shaft, just a little bit. Okay, to put the can back on, I like to turn the shock upside down so I can push down on it, get it in place. Just lightly. It's a lot easier to push down. Just work that air out. Yeah, once you get it down, easy to start turning it. There we go. And you have to get this hand tight. Get to the point where I can line up the logos. Getting close. There we go. And that should do it.